Well, I'll tell you, I was going to say you can't fool me twice, but apparently you can. Yes. All right, well, I'm here now, and so are all of us. So that's the important thing, right? Because that's what this talk really is all about, and I can explain it. And so here we are right smack dab in the middle of the first month of a brand new year, or so it seems. Because we did consider last Sunday that whatever the year or month or day, it's always now. Now, we've probably all seen those pictures of the clocks or seen a clock that has replaced all the numbers with the word now. It's actually more accurate than any solar-powered clock with numbers, and definitely more accurate than the doomsday clock. Our entire life is always happening right where we are now because there's no other place for it to occur, no matter what the date or the time of day. Eckhart Tolle wrote that nothing has happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. I mean, do you remember what you were thinking about yesterday? What you're doing? You remember anything about yesterday? Well, if you do, you're remembering it now. And if we remember how we felt when something painful or embarrassing happened, whether it was yesterday or last year or the year before that, we're feeling it now. As the saying goes, the past is rolled up behind us. There's nothing there. But we are, right here and right now. We remain a living expression of life right here, with nothing behind us except the power of the universe that always has our back and is ready to create for us now. We create our life as we know by thinking. We call our experiences the past and what we might experience the future, but our life unfolds with every step we take in the present moment. When we're experiencing something good, we want that moment to last forever. And when we're experiencing something unpleasant, we want it to pass as quickly as possible. And yet now doesn't go anywhere, no matter how we are experiencing it. There's no place for it to go. It's always now because life is now and now is life. Even when we're not paying attention to our life, or as John Lennon said, even when we're busy making other plans, our life is happening now. It's the timeless gap between our thoughts, and it's there no matter how quickly our thoughts seem to cross our mind. It's between what was and what will appear next, even if we're not aware that there's a pause there in between. The idea of time and space upon which this human environment is based allows us to measure and evaluate our progress along our eternal, timeless, spiritual journey of love. It lets us evaluate where we are now and where we want to be in the future. But when we get there, the future will happen in the now. Time and space give us a chance to make changes in our direction if we choose to, but we have to make that change now, because we can only make it now. Time and space offers us opportunities to assess and appraise our mental, emotional, and physical movement from there to there, and decide if we want to move in a different way by taking advantage of the present moment to change our thinking and change our life direction. Now doesn't change. We do. Or rather, our experience of life changes, because our mind is the master of the thoughts that create our experiences. We're free to choose and choose again how we'll experience each moment. We're free to try on a new way of seeing ourselves and life right now. And something will change. But we're also free to hold on to thoughts of what was and who we was and focus on that right now. And either way, that will be our life experience for now. The good news is that when we think about the past now, we're free to think about it differently. And that's how the past loses its hold on us. Nothing is written in stone. Life is fluid and changeable and always, always in motion. We're immersed in a sea of love that's always moving us in the direction of love's expression. We only get seasick when we resist going with the flow. Now, as we all know, most of us know, our theme this year is it's 2023, I'm free, free, free. And for the purpose of this talk, we could say, I'm free, free, free to see the past differently. The only reason we don't believe we can do that is because we think we're a done deal. Who we are is solidified by our past. We're filled with habits that we can't seem to break and ways of doing things and responding to life that keep us glued to past performances, ours and those of others. Nothing keeps us from feeling free, free, free more than judging ourselves and others on past performances. Rumi wrote in his epic poem, out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. That field is pure love. That holy vacuity or emptiness that's forever full of infinite possibilities for expressing love. It holds no record of wrongs because now holds no record of the past. We are unconditionally free in the present moment. There's not one thing we can't change now. Not one thing that we can't think or say or do differently now. And everyone else is free to do the same. Which brings us to the title of today's talk, Who Did, Who Didn't, Houdini. Oh, I can explain, but it might be more fun not to. But most of us who live alone talk to ourselves. And talking to ourselves can be a form of entertainment. Matter of fact, more entertainment than enlightenment, talking to ourselves. And though I've often said that I never let a title of a talk get in the way of what I want to say, over the years when a talk title comes to mind, no matter how crazy it might seem at the time, I've come to trust that even if I don't know what it means right then, that I will as I prepare my talk. I always do. When this one came to mind, it made me laugh out loud. And even though I like rhymes, I had a feeling there was more to Houdini than a nice alliteration. So let me begin by saying this. I have been a fan of the British royalty since the day that Prince Charles proposed to Diana. I'd like to think that it's because I was a princess in another life, but it's just as likely that I was an executioner in the Tower of London. Now, I am perfectly aware that no one's life other than my own is my business. I know that. You know that. But every once in a while, a royal headline captures my attention. Like the latest one with Prince Harry and the royals. And I don't read all the details, I just read the headlines, and I find them interesting. But every once in a while, my curiosity gets the best of me, and I read on. Now, as I was halfway through reading some news report, it became obvious to me that it was impossible to know who was telling the truth and who wasn't, as if it was my business. And I felt exhausted, and I stopped reading because both sides seemed and sounded to me like they were right, and both sides seemed and sounded to me like they were wrong. And as I sat there, the words who did, who didn't, Houdini came to mind. And as I said it out loud with a sigh, I felt a whole lot better. And then I laughed for a long time, and the more I laughed, the better I felt. The better I felt, the lighter I felt. And the lighter I felt, the less I cared who did or didn't do what. Now, in the past few days, I've read a lot about Houdini. And all of it was really interesting. But for the purposes of today's talk, the fact that he was an escape artist and could escape from almost any pair of handcuffs is what we'll be talking about. Nothing keeps us handcuffed to negative energy. Nothing holds us down more than just feeling imprisoned by negative ideas about who did or didn't do whatever. It's all in the past, but it keeps us down when we're attached to that past thought. It's not possible for us to feel light within us and worry about who's right and who's wrong around us. When we're feeling light within us, it doesn't matter. When we feel light, we know it's all right, and we can just let it be. And it's easy to let it be when we feel light. Now, who remembers the first Mary Poppins movie? Oh, goody. Well, remember the part where Mary Poppins and Bert the chimney sweep and the Banks children, and Michael and Jane, went to visit Uncle Albert? Yeah. And when they came into the room, Uncle Albert was floating to the ceiling laughing. And it was a really high ceiling. And he was singing, "The more I laugh, the more I fill with glee. And the more the glee, the more I'm a merrier me." And so Bert told everyone just to keep a straight face, because the last time Uncle Albert was that high, it took him 3 days to get him down. But since laughter is contagious, pretty soon Bert and the kids were floating up there with Uncle Albert. Nothing makes us feel lighter than to laugh. That's why we just love to listen to babies and toddlers laugh. It's just so full-bellied and free. That's why we like to be around people that we can laugh with. Joy is the key to living the life that we want to live, because it's the elixir of our soul. And it's the best medicine on earth to remedy sadness and sickness and boredom. Now, many of us know the story of Norman Cousins. He was a journalist and a professor and a world peace advocate. And he wrote the book Anatomy of an Illness after he laughed himself well. Now, he'd been diagnosed with a degenerative disease that had left him in almost constant pain. And it motivated his doctor to tell him that he only had a couple of months to live. But Norman Cousins learned that negative emotions such as frustration and suppressed rage were linked to his illness. So he was sure that the opposite would be true, that positive emotion, love and hope and faith and laughter and confidence would heal him. And so to combat his pain, he watched Marx Brothers movies and Candid Camera and all the things that, for him, just made him laugh. And he discovered that just 10 minutes of belly-ripping laughter would give him 2 hours of pain-free sleep when nothing else, not even morphine, could help him. The spiritual teacher Alan Watts wrote, "Man suffers only because he takes seriously what the gods made for fun." We were in on that decision, by the way. And he wrote, "The only thing that could be bad is taking it too seriously." I mean, are we having fun yet, or are we still bemoaning something that happened in the past? Are we still thinking about and worrying about and wondering about and talking about who was right and who was wrong and who did what and who didn't do whatever? It's time for us to lighten up if we want to feel healthy, if we want to feel happy, if we want to experience the well-being that belongs to us. It's time for us to stop taking ourselves and this life that is joy seriously. And just let our happiness shine on the world. When we're filled with glee, it doesn't matter to us who did or didn't say or do whatever. We let ourselves and everyone else off the hook because we feel boundless and we feel free, and we don't want to keep anyone else down either. Sri Sri Ravi Shankar said, measure your success by the number of hours you smile. Every smile breaks a link in the chain that keeps us down in negativity and allows us to be a merrier you and me. So, I have shortened my letting go process to just one word. And lately, anytime I've been tempted to wonder about things that are absolutely none of my business, which is everything but me, I just say, Houdini, and it makes me smile. Namaste. All right. Well, this is our opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for watching us wherever you are, whenever you watch. It'll be now. And if you've been wondering how to support LEC financially because something you heard nourished your soul, and you just feel like you want to hear it again and again and more, it's like a good restaurant that you don't leave without paying. We have our ways for you to help us. And nobody knows those ways better than our treasurer, Dr. Jamie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was good. Houdini. I just want to see if
I know you just want to say it, don't you?
Yes, there we go. On three, everybody. We're all going to say it because we want to have the joy. 1, 2, 3.
Houdini.
Yeah, I like it. It's our new word. Okay. So if you would like to contribute to the Life Enrichment Center and you're watching this video online, you can go to facebook.com/Life Enrichment Center and hit the donate button. You can go to our website, lecflint.com, and click on the donate button there. You can go to paypal.com and type in lec2512@gmail.com. That's our email address, lec2512@gmail.com, and you can donate to us through PayPal. You can also send a check, and our new mailing address is P.O. Box 321294, Flint, Michigan 48532. And Janice, are you putting that on the sidebar, our mailing address? Yes. Cool. And then I don't have to repeat it. Although I like being up here, but I'll pass.
Oh, say it again. It's fine.
Okay. And then we're going to do an offertory here in the sanctuary. So if our gratitude received would come forward. And we're going to be listening to a song by our own Marcia Allen, Pat Cronley, and Nick Calandro. It's called I Am Blessed. Thank you.